So we'll give a shortened talk today because I hear there's an eclipse of the moon tonight. So they wanted us to finish early so everyone can take prasadam before the eclipse. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimakte Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda. So we'll chant the Hare Krishna mantra for a while and then I'll give a little talk. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Want me to go a little higher? A little higher. One more. I'm going to try a little higher. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Premananda. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Prabhrajagacharya Satara Satyashishiman. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Prabhrajagacharya Satara Satyashishiman. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Sad Goswami Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Shikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Gir Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premananda. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. So I'd like to thank you for all coming today, and I'd also like to thank all of you for having me today. And today I wanted to give it just a talk. We have about an hour. I'll try and save some time for reflections and questions, if there are any. But I wanted to talk about what I call the signs along the way as we progress in bhakti. You know, how do we know if we're making progress? In fact, so this was often a question that was asked naturally, you know, to Srila Prabhupada by different people, different disciples. How do we know if we're actually advancing? We're spending a lot of time and effort to follow this process of bhakti. So how can we know? It's said that it's a science, that the path of bhakti can be measured, and we can identify where we are. Recently I was in Okinawa. You know where that is? It's part of Japan, yes. It's an island. You know, logistically it's actually closer to China than it is to Japan. And if you go there, you can see that actually culturally there's a lot of Chinese influence in the architecture and things like that. And as most of you who know me know, that I became a devotee in Japan, and I traveled to Japan. And on the main island of Japan, that's called Honshu. There's four basic islands. Honshu is the biggest, and then to the north you have Hokkaido, and you have another island sort of in front, it's called Shikoku, and then you have a southern island called, I'm drawing a blank here, somebody help me out, Kyushu. But there are also strings of little tiny islands. One of those is Okinawa. Anyway, in Tokyo and Osaka, they have advanced, especially compared to America, advanced transportation systems. Maybe New York has something similar. So there's lots of subways there. And when you get off the subway, there's different exits. And in order to figure out where you're going, you have to look at a map. There's always a map wherever you get off. And it shows you the different exits, and it shows you what's around, the surrounding area, and it also tells you where you are. Because if you don't know where you are, you don't know where to proceed to. So that's a basic part of a map, right? You have the map, but then it also shows you where you are. So I was surprised. I guess it was this year, we were in Okinawa, and it was only my second time there. And the place we were staying was located near some very ancient ruins. There was an old castle there, built by the Kshatriya samurai, feudal period. And of course, in Okinawa, they don't have bricks or rocks. They only have coral. So they used coral to build this castle. So we thought we had some free time, so why don't we go check it out? So we got to this big park where the ancient ruins are, and there was a big sign there that showed where everything was. But believe it or not, There was no place to show you where you are. Yeah. So there was really nowhere for us to know which place we could go to because we didn't know where we were. So it's a kind of a critical part of making a journey. Even if you have a map, you have to be able to estimate where you are in order to know how you're going to proceed to your destination. Even if you know what your destination is, it's almost just as important to know where you are. So that's the topic of today, only in relationship to the process of bhakti yoga. So Prabhupada was often asked this question, how do I know if I'm making a progress in my spiritual life? And he often would quote this verse that you see up on the screen, which is from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the 2nd chapter. I'm not sure which sage spoke this verse. It's part of the instruction of the Nava-yogindras to King Nimi. There's 9 sages. They're all the sons of Rishabdev. And there's a lot of practical information in these verses. Anyway, the verse is Bhakti Parishanu Bhava Viraktir Anyatra Chaisya Trika Ekakala Prapadyamanasya Yatasnatas Shu Tushti Pushti Shud Apaya Nugasam. And the translation is, if we can move it up. Can we move it up to the translation? Yes. Devotion, direct experience of the Supreme Lord, and detachment from all other things. These 3 occur simultaneously for one who has taken shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the same way that pleasure, nourishment, and relief from hunger come simultaneously and increasingly with each bite for a person engaged in eating. So that's a very practical example, right? So if we are making progress in our spiritual life, we should be experiencing some gratitude towards the source of our life, Krishna. We should be having some direct experience of ourself and our relationship with Him. Not just theoretical, right? But something experiential. And that will also cause us to not be so interested in maybe the things we were interested in before. And the comparison is given to when we're eating. Maybe before we eat, like before we take prasadam today, if you didn't have lunch, you might be feeling really hungry right now. And you might even be feeling a little tired. And sometimes when we're hungry, we can even feel a little irritation, right? Our level to tolerate things isn't so good. Anytime when one of our basic needs is not met, we might be not getting enough sleep, or we might be stressed out. But as soon as our energy level goes down, our ability to tolerate the things that we normally tolerate becomes less, because our energy level's down. I used to experience this all the time when I was at work. Those of you who know my history know that I used to work as a paramedic on a 24-hour shift. And when I would go to work in the morning, usually I would get up and chant my rounds before I got to work. And I would be in a very good mood and full of energy. And I would be pretty much that way during the daytime. But after midnight, you didn't want to be a patient of mine. Because as soon as my energy was gone, my tolerance level was also gone. And even though I knew this was going to happen, I couldn't control it. I would just easily become more angry, more in a down mood. So spiritual life, if we're making advancement, we should be feeling happier, we should be feeling stronger, and this hunger or this lack of dissatisfaction that a materialistic person is definitely feeling, right? Always wanting. That should be receding. So there's a letter that, actually, it's not a letter. It's a short transcription of a lecture Prabhupada was giving in 1968 in LA. It was a Bhagavad Gita lecture. But now that you know this previous verse, you can see in this lecture how Prabhupada is basically echoing the wisdom of Srimad Bhagavatam that we just listened to. In 1968, the LA temple really had just begun. So it was a small little place. It's in a different location than it is now. I think it was on La Cienega Avenue. It wasn't a church. I'm not sure what it was. And then where they are now on Watsika, they've been there since, I think, around 1970, 71. All those years. Anyway, so let's look at this lecture. I'll just read it and you can read along. I'm not sure if this is being broadcast. Is this being broadcast? Okay, so those of you are home, you can just look at the screen. But keep in mind the verse we just read. Prabhupada says, if a person is actually executing devotional service, then he must be happy. If he is not happy, then he's not doing properly. I like Prabhupada's English. So first thing is this. He must be doing something in the name of devotional service. If he's actually rendering devotional service, then he must be feeling happy. Feeling something. Just like if you are eating, actually, then you must feel strength and satisfaction of your hunger. You cannot say, I am eating, but I'm not satisfied of my hunger. That is not possible. This is not possible. Then you are not eating. Or you are eating, but it is being devoured by worms within your intestines. Sometimes it happens. If there are many worms within the intestines, they call them tapeworms, right? They can grow really big. If there are many worms inside your intestines, where was I? Oh yes, okay. If there are many worms within your intestines, you go on voraciously eating, but you don't get any strength because the eating substance, the essence, is taken by the worms. Therefore, the worm treatment is there to kill the worms. Otherwise, they will eat everything. You will feel hungry, but you will not get any strength. This is the worm disease. So if I'm actually rendering devotional service and I'm not getting any happiness, that means there is some Maya's play. Otherwise, there is no such reasoning. He must feel happy. Then he has to rectify the process of his service. Not to change, but rectify the process. Somebody must have said something and Prabhupada said, "What is that?" Somebody laughs. It cannot be. If you are actually executing devotional service, you must feel happy. If you don't feel happy, then you are not executing. There is some flaw. Yes. So those are really, there's two things now we can look at. Sometimes, if you're on a journey, there's different markers along the way, little signs saying, yes, you're going the right way. You're going the right way. keep going till you get to the pond and then turn left and then turn right. Then there'll be another sign. And now there's going to be a big bridge, cross over the bridge, like that. Or there'll be another sign, like when you're about to get on the freeway and you go on the wrong street, right? It says, wrong way, don't go. So, if I'm feeling happy, that's a good sign. So, also we can learn from the fact, if we're honest enough to say that I'm not feeling happy. That's alerting us that we must be going the wrong way. Or, as Prabhupada says, there must be some flaw. Or maybe we have worms in the stomach, which when I was growing up was actually a common affair. Everybody was very much conscious about tapeworms. And now I think the drugs have become so good that in most places, most developed countries, it's not an issue. Maybe in places where water is still not purified, then although or the food is not properly cooked, then you can pick up these worms. So if you do have one of these worms, even if you're eating, you're going through the motions, you're still not getting nourishment, you're still feeling tired, and you're not feeling any kind of strength. So if we're actually chanting without motivation, or doing devotional service purely, because that's the definition of bhakti, right? Who knows the verse? Anyabhilasita sunyam. Yes. Who can say what that means? Do we have any? There you are. We need to be interactive here, keep everyone awake. So what does that verse mean? Or what is the translation of the verse? You're going to blank. Anyone else? Okay, in the back here, right here.
So the verse is Anya Bhilashita Shunyam. That means the devotional service we render should be free from any other motivation, like Jnana Karma Adi Anavritam. So the devotional service should not be covered by karma, jnana, or any such processes. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti Ruttama. So devotional service which is being performed should be favorable to Krishna, and it should consist of Anushilanam, that means following the regulative principles, following the do's and the don'ts.
Thank you very much. Yes, should be pleasing to Krishna. Of course, if we're performing devotional service based on the Shastra, based on what our Guru has told us, now we're not actually seeing if Krishna's smiling or not, right? We trust or we have faith that we're doing what he says, so he must be happy, right? And we'll feel that. Why is it that we chant 16 rounds and not 4 rounds or 64 rounds? Because that's what Srila Prabhupada asked us to do. And he has some agreement with Krishna. He asked Krishna, if they chant 16 rounds, will you accept it? And Krishna must have said yes. Therefore, it's pleasing. Therefore, it's effective. Even though we may not know Krishna personally. So devotional service, the main thing is it's without personal motivation, or that's what it means by karma, or about wanting something for yourself. So then we could extrapolate from that when we're going through the motions of devotional service, but we're expecting to get something for ourselves, or we're egocentric. It means the person we imagine ourselves that we believe we are, wants to be recognized maybe, or become special. that would be like a tapeworm in our stomach, digesting the nourishment that normally would be going to our bhakti creeper. So these are the kind of things that we have to be on the lookout for on our path on this path of bhakti. Is there personal motivation here? And what we're meaning by personal motivation is that this person that we imagine ourselves to be is not who we really are. What? What does that mean? Yeah, we all have this self-image of who we are. Basically, we've developed it since we were children. And this person we imagine ourselves to be, we imagine that we're separate from God, and that we're not whole, and that we're incomplete, and that we have to be and do, we have to do something in order to become complete. Which sounds really strange when you read the Bhagavad Gita and Krishna says that the spiritual spark is Satchidananda, Vigraha, eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. So if we feel like we need to do something in order to become something, if we feel like we need to do something in order to get love, or to be approved of, or to be okay, or to be valued, then where's that motivation coming from? It's not coming from the self, the real self. It's coming from the imagined self, our self-image. And that's basically the worm that's eating all the goodies. But it's very tricky. Yes, we actually have a devotee false ego. Yeah. And that devotee false ego is craving approval, craving love, craving to be recognized and special, because it feels not special. So when we actually don't know who we are, and we don't know what we already are, which is already okay, always have been, already and always. Those are two key words, already and always. We're already a spiritual spark, and we always have been. So if we're aware of that, then we're serving Krishna from a feeling of wholeness or completeness, because that's our nature. So really, we already have everything. We don't feel like we need anything. We're already recognizing the life that Krishna is giving to us right now, and we're relishing that life. It's already full and complete, already and always. So when we discover that, then our bhakti becomes unmotivated. So it awakens from a realization of the self. We'll get into this a little bit more when we read the next letter about chanting. We can also look at some signs that Prabhupada has given us in this letter to know how our chanting's going, if we're making progress or not. But first, I'd just like to focus on this one idea, or this one concept, that when we're serving without any expectation, because we already feel okay, that is very satisfying. That is very nourishing, and we'll be happy. We'll feel happy. But if we're performing devotional service out of this sense of incompleteness, that I'm not okay, out of ignorance that I'm actually part of Krishna, because there's never a time when we weren't a part of Krishna, and there will never be a time when we won't be. And sometimes I say, okay, What's the proof? What's the proof that you're part of Krishna? What's the proof that He loves you as you are? The proof is, you're the proof. You're alive. You exist. We're actually expressions of Krishna's light, Krishna's love, and there's no value on the spiritual spark, because it's eternal, already okay, already complete. So as we cultivate that awareness of our true self, from that understanding, pure bhakti or unmotivated bhakti springs from that experience of our true self. So it's not something actually we have to get by doing something, in one sense. Lord Chaitanya, when he was asked by Sanatana Goswami asked, who am I, right? Kayami? He said, and then Lord Chaitanya said, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhu Kabunai Shravanade Sudachite Karaye Hudai. He said that later on. First he said, you're the eternal servant of Krishna. What's that verse? I said the wrong one. Jiva Swarupaya Krishnara Nitya Das Krishnara Tatasta Shakti Bed Abeda Prakas. He said, you are the every soul, not only you Sanatan, everyone is eternally part of Krishna, part of the Tatasta Shakti, simultaneous, one and different. Sometimes we forget to talk about the oneness. That's also important, to acknowledge or actually feel the oneness, the connection. Not that we lose our identity, but we don't exist separate from God. That also has to be recognized and felt. Then we feel complete. Then we can serve. And then Lord Chaitanya went on to say that it's not something you get, it's something you already have. There's nothing you can do to get it because you already have it. So he said, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunai. There's nothing you have to do. You already have it. Shravanade Sudachite Karaye Udai. But when you hear and chant the glories of the Lord, what you already have awakens, or that potential for love awakens, because it's already there. It's not something you're awarded because you were a good boy or a girl. It's something you already have. It's already been gifted. So that's important to recognize. And just by recognizing that, when we do service, we'll feel happy. We won't feel like we need to do anything to get something. We'll recognize I already have something. And then we feel happy. Then we feel satisfied. So we have to discover the self. So then Prabhupada, he goes on to say in this letter, we'll read this letter that describes the stages of chanting and some signs that we can look at when we're off course to bring ourselves back on course. Can we bring up the screen a little bit to the next letter? Oh, I see. Oh, it's right there. I was looking lower. So 3 stages of chanting. These are from my own notes, so it's not so organized. 3 stages of chanting are first to clean the mirror of the mind. The next stage, when the mind is cleansed, one becomes free from the symptoms of material existence. The third stage is he never laments or desires to have anything. So, Lord Chaitanya said, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, right? Bhava Mahadavagne Nirvapanam. So when we begin chanting, the first stage is that the mirror of the mind becomes cleansed. it's a very practical example, but it's also a little bit abstract, isn't it? Does that mean that the mind becomes empty? Because is there ever a time when our mind is empty? Is there ever a time when we're not thinking? Is there ever a time that we can make our mind stop thinking? Maybe for a little short little stints, but not really. And sometimes I ask the question, do we even know what our next thought's going to be? No. So cleansing the mirror of the mind that means there's no dust on the mirror, so the mirror can reflect the pure image of the soul. So then what does it mean? Well, one meaning we can understand is that the mind is always going to have thoughts. That's the business of the mind, is to think. That's what it does. When we identify with those thoughts, and we think, those are me, that's my thought, that's about me, that's the contamination. When we no longer identify with our thoughts, we're thinking of the past, we're thinking of the future, and we don't take it as anything really of any kind of substance. We don't see that as real or me. Then there's no more contamination. Then consciousness is pure. When consciousness identifies with the contents of the mind, then it becomes contaminated superficially. Actually, consciousness can never become contaminated. Consciousness actually never touches the material energy. But it appears to. Just like the cloud appears to cover the sky, but really the sky is never covered. Krishna gives this example in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He says, the spirit soul is actually never in contact with material energy. It's always pure. But it becomes covered and appears to be in contact. So, when we're looking at our mind, because it's like a big screen just like this, and we have memories flashing there of the past, and based on those memories we're imagining the future. Basically, when we're thinking and we don't know that we're thinking, then we're identified with thought. So we're in a state of unconsciousness. So that's material contamination, thinking that this is me, this is mine, when really it's not. So the first stage of chanting, when we're chanting, we're still identified. Can we go back just a little bit? The next stage, when the mind is cleansed, one becomes free from the symptoms of material existence. So, when we're having thoughts of the past and the future, or even the person I imagine myself to be, because our self-image is in that area. Our self-image doesn't exist in the present. We have to go into the mind and we have to look at something there. That's where our false sense of self is. So when consciousness really is becoming cleansed, then the symptoms of material existence we become free of those symptoms. So, in the letter, Prabhupada is going to explain more what those symptoms are. Then those are the signs that we want to look at. Then when we come to pure chanting, we come to the stage of Brahmabhuta. He never laments nor desires to have anything. So we're no longer disturbed by whatever contents are there in the mind. We don't take it as real anymore. The contents is still there. The tapes are still going. Even the self-image is still there. But we don't see it as me. Okay. So now let's read this letter. Letter to Susan Beckman. This is Hertz, England, August 29th, 1973. The chanting is a process of purification. Just like we use soap to cleanse the body, this is material, but the chanting is spiritual cleansing. The 3 stages of cleansing are first to clean the mirror of the mind. In the Bhagavad Gita it is said, the mind is the best friend and the worst enemy. For one who has learned to control the mind, it is the best of friends, but for one who has failed to do so, it is the worst enemy. Due to long-term association, the mind absorbed in material things has become contaminated or dirty. The chanting process purifies the mind. Then the next stage, when the mind is cleansed, one becomes freed from the symptoms of material existence. Material existence means to be always hankering and lamenting. I must have a new automobile. I must have more money. I must have a good wife. I must have this. I must have that. Then, when I have the thing, I lament. I have lost my wife. I have lost my money. I have lost my car. Simply lamenting. So the second stage is to be free from this anxiety. So we can understand if we're still lamenting, still holding on, right? It didn't go the way I wanted to. The false self just won't let that go, right? And then we're still hoping for a correction in the future. If we're still holding on like that, then we're still in this first and second stage. But if we're actually letting go of this holding on, then we're not in anxiety anymore. The memory still may be there, but the sting is gone. Then the third stage. Brahma bhuta prasanatma nasoshati nakankshati samasaveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Bhagavad Gita 18:54. Is that the end? Oh. Well, before we get to that, let's go back. So these are very practical things we can look at. We can always ask the question, now or when I'm chanting, where is my attention now? As soon as we do that, we pull ourselves actually out of identification with the mind. You know, when we don't know that we're thinking, we're just out of habit lamenting, right? Thinking about what happened 10 years ago or 20 years ago, in my case, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. Yes, it goes on. Then we're caught in identification. It's like quicksand. We're stuck in there. But as soon as you ask the question, where's my attention now? It's just like if you're watching a movie and your cell phone buzzes, right? And for a moment, you pull your attention out of the movie. Then you're no longer in it anymore, right? Because you're not the movie. You're the one watching the movie, right? We're not the mind. We're not the one lamenting. We're the one looking at those memories and identifying with it. But as soon as we ask the question, where's my attention now? Then we pull ourselves out of that. Now we become Kshetragya, the knower of the field. We're no longer the field. We're the knower of the field. We're always the knower of the field, but we forget. So, when we're lamenting or when we're hoping for the future, even our devotee false ego has different strategies, right? Of how to get everyone's approval, or how to look special. And we imagine ourselves doing this service or that service, and everyone going, yay! You know. And we're feeling some happiness and also some confidence, right? But it's all based on the mind and the person we imagine ourselves to be. So as long as this is going on, you know, especially if we're doing this while we're chanting, that's a big no-no. As Lord Chaitanya taught, he said that if you're chanting, he said the mantra is like water, and your bhakti is a plant, but it's in a seed form. So when you're chanting, and you're actually present for Krishna when you're chanting, you're just hearing the mantra. You're not lamenting the past or imagining the future. You're just hearing the mantra. Then all of that waters nourishing the seed. But he says, you have to be very careful to make sure that you're pouring the water on the plant. Yeah. And he says, you, me. There's nobody else can do that. Nobody else is in charge of our mind. No, the Christian's not going to take that over. That's our free will. That's about the only free will we have. We decide where our consciousness goes. As Vaisheshika Prabhu always says, where attention goes, energy flows. Or consciousness flows. You know, so when we're present for the holy name, you know, our consciousness is also flowing back to itself, really. And it's flowing to Krishna. But if we're chanting or doing some other service, and we're in some sort of devotee ego strategy, how I'm going to get this, how I'm going to get that, then that weed is getting nourished and becoming stronger. And that weed will never be happy, will never feel satisfied, because that weed imagines that I'm incomplete, that I need to do this or I need to do that in order to be okay. Not only that, we'll go on, I'll mention it when we go on a little bit more, but as long as we are not oriented to now in our spiritual practice, from the very beginning, we'll be going in the wrong direction. We won't find, you know, our spiritual practice won't give us the fruits that we're hoping for. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Here's another sign. Lord Chaitanya says in the Adi Lila text, chapter 29, verse 3, if one chants the exalted holy name of the Lord again and again, and yet his love for the Supreme Lord does not develop, and tears do not appear in his eyes, it is evident that because of his offenses in chanting, the seed of the holy name does not sprout. So we're not only talking about not growing, it doesn't even, that little sprout doesn't even come up yet. It's just, the seed is there, but it's got to get some water. You know, it's got to get some present moment chanting. You know, without the devotee false ego getting involved. That has to relax and back off a little bit. Now, you may be feeling a little depressed at this point. Anybody feeling a little depressed, like, oh, this is too much, I'm never going to make it? It's really not that hard if you know the direction and the way. So, like I was saying, you know, this journey we're on, we say we're on a journey back home, back to Godhead, right? That's one way it's described. And sometimes it's also called the inner journey, or the journey within. As Radhanath Swami, I haven't read it, but I heard he wrote a book on this topic. And the title is Journey Within. So really, this chanting process, this process of devotional service, it's an inner journey. Yeah. And if we don't know that from the beginning, right? You are here. We want to go there, but you are here. So you are here. This is where devotional service actually happens. It doesn't happen anywhere else. If we know that from the beginning, we'll be on the right track. So I'll read this one more quote from Prabhupada, and then we'll talk about the journey within, and then I'll open it up for reflections and questions. So Prabhupada, he wrote this letter in 1958. The happiness which you are hankering after is possible to be obtained as soon as you learn to introspect within yourself. You yourself are your friend, and you yourself are your enemy. You can rise yourself by your self-effort, and you can down yourself by the same effort. It is simply to know the direction and the way. In the right direction, you can make yourself happy in the right way. Please therefore contact us, and we shall help you to raise yourself to your normal happiness. It is no dream, neither any bluff. You shall know yourself how far you have made progress in that path, and our duty will be to help you only. Thinking that you shall be a prospective member of our League of Devotees, I am sending you herewith a copy of the prospectus, and I wish most sincerely that you should become an active member of this great institution. Pay or pay not, you can become a member without obligation, and the League welcomes you, always accepting you as a divine child. Isn't it a nice letter? One of my favorites. And of course, this is a few years before Prabhupada ventured out to America on his journey to bring us on our journey back home, back to Godhead. But it's interesting how he points out to the man, very similar to the first verse we read. He said you have to know the direction and the way. The way is within. The way means within. When I first heard this, I thought, what does it mean to go within? But it means we do have to start watching our mind and not believing everything that it believes. We have to start to watch what it's doing. As soon as we start to watch what it's doing, it's no longer using us, right? If the mind is using us, it's our enemy. If we're watching the mind, then we know what it's doing and we can use it. Then it becomes our friend. But we have to take a moment to look at it, and the only way we can look at it is by being a little present now and seeing the difference between noticing our life in this moment as opposed to what it's like to unconsciously think. And this is not a difficult thing if we know the direction and the way. Every human being can do this. We have this ability because the human being has the gift of self-awareness. The human being can observe its thoughts, in its words, in its behavior. That's why we can change. Animals, they can do this a little bit, but not very much. But humans, they have this gift of self-awareness. So that means you can become aware of yourself in this moment. And that is the beginning of self-realization, or the Brahma Bhuta platform. But it means that you have to direct your attention to the present. As soon as we direct our attention to the present, then we can notice our own presence. That's self-awareness. It's very simple, yet the mind tries to complicate it. There's so many terms for it now. Be here now, mindfulness. I like the term mindful awareness. Because mindfulness also is not very complete. But mindful awareness just means that you decide right now where you're going to place your attention. You bring it to the present moment. And then you notice, I'm here. Like right now, you ask yourself the question, where's my attention? Oh, I was thinking about what Satyadev was saying. Okay, let that go. And just, can you feel yourself sitting on your mat right now? Can you actually feel your butt on the floor? You can only feel it now. You can't feel it tomorrow or yesterday. You can only feel it now. And then just take a deep breath and just feel that I'm here right now. There's this sense, you may have a thought or a feeling, but there's also this sense that I am. That I'm here, I exist. It's not a thought. It's just a knowing. And in fact, that's all we really know. Beyond that, we're believing a lot of things. But you know, beyond a doubt, that you exist. So that's what Krishna means when he says, bring your attention back to the self. Focus on the self. You focus, you become aware that I am in this moment. And as soon as you notice your life, you can feel a little gratitude towards the source of your life, that you're happy to be alive. Now, when you notice yourself right now, that you're alive, how does that feel? Yeah. Good. Right. It's peaceful. In this moment, do you feel like you really need anything? Is there any sense of incompleteness? No, you have to start thinking in order for that to arise. And then we go into this whole imagined self we are, that didn't get its needs met. And it's hoping to get its needs met in the future. But right now, life itself is perfect, is precious, is indestructible. We stay focused on that as we chant, as we do our service. That's the Brahmabhuta level of devotional service. We're not hankering, we're not lamenting. We're feeling complete in this moment. We're feeling our connection with the Lord because that is our connection. Right? What's the connection with the sun ray and the sun? The light, the sun ray itself, it comes from the sun. So as soon as we recognize ourselves, we'll feel our connection with our source. Not imagining it, as Prabhupada says in the letter, or as the verse says, you'll know by your own experience. As soon as you sense I am, that I'm alive, you know, I am, I exist. And there's connection. There's nothing missing. But that can only be perceived now, because the spiritual spark doesn't have a past or a future. It's eternal. It always exists in the present. So all we have to do is ask ourselves the question, where's my attention now? And then you notice, I'm here. And you keep chanting. Even if it's only for a few moments, you continue to do that over and over. Yeah. And this way, gradually you develop this strength of yoga, this awareness of the real I am, and you're starting, now the mind has a little leash on it. It just cannot go on according to its program. And so when the past arises, and maybe some lamentation is there, some pain is there. Oh, I didn't get what I wanted. It shouldn't have happened. It should have been this way. Oh my God, will I get it in the future? When this, pattern arises, you look at it. You identify it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, as soon as you do that, something changes. You come to a higher level of consciousness. So even that past that was dragging you down before now becomes the cause of your liberation, the cause of your awakening. And you feel that, oh, there's some regret there. Oh, there's some loneliness there. There's some anger there. You look at it. You feel it. Then you let it go and you come back to the present. You don't try and escape it. That's another subject. I won't get into it now, but that's a major mistake we make on the spiritual path, is by trying to escape our suffering as opposed to facing it. We try to run away from it by distracting ourselves away, working really hard, serving. Yeah. If we don't really look at it, and we're running away from it, we're actually reacting to it, which causes us to remain identified with it, and will keep causing it to reappear. So part of awakening and a part of knowing where we are in the path, when the lamentation arises, or when the hoping for the future arises, we have to look at that as a little sign that says, you're off the track, you're off the marker. And then we have to look at it and say, oh yes. And then come back to the truth of who we are right now. And so we can't skip that part. Therefore, Krishna says throughout the Gita, when happiness is arising, when distress is arising, he doesn't say that when you awaken that there's no more distress or happiness or praise and blame, all of these dualities of life. He says when they come up, are you disturbed? Are you remaining equal and undisturbed? So initially maybe there's disturbance. Oh, I still feel hurt by what that person said. The hurt is still there. But are you willing to look at it and feel it? Okay, now you're not disturbed. Now you're looking at it. And it's passing by and you're still here. So that's what he means by tolerate without being disturbed. So this happiness, this lamentation, and this worrying that the mind goes through, we have to bring that to consciousness in the present. And that will let us, that's actually a good thing. It actually tells us, oh, you forgot who you are again. Come back. Come back to the reality right now. Everything's okay right now. You always have been. You already are. You're an eternal spiritual spark. Your life's coming from Krishna. It's complete. And you just feel that. Not mentally going through some intellectual thinking about it. You just notice, I'm alive right now. Feel it. Like right now. And then chant Hare Krishna. And that's how we do our service. So, just recapping. If we're not feeling happy, basically that means we're not chanting properly, or there's some motivation in our service, and we're living in the mind. We're not living in the reality of the truth of life right now. If we're living in the reality of who we are right now, we'll feel happy. Even if, our life situation isn't exactly what the mind wants. Again, I ask you in this moment, is there anything you need right now? Can you be more alive right now than you already are? Is it possible? I don't think so. Life is already complete. But we don't notice it because we're lost in the mind. So when we're lost in the mind, we won't feel happy because we're identifying with our imagined self, which imagines itself as incomplete and separate from Krishna. If we notice the reality of our life right now, we become more and more familiar with that. It takes some effort in the beginning because for most of us, we have been identified with this constant stream of thinking for lifetimes, even as we're chanting. Right? But we do have to intentionally bring our mind, bring our attention present, and watch the mind, watch the body, feel our life, and chant Hare Krishna in that consciousness. So we only have a couple of minutes left. I went a little bit over. So I'll just turn it over to you for any kind of reflections or questions.
So Prabhu, when you said it feels so easy, but as Devamrita Swami says, like in this age where there are weapons of mass distraction, he calls them, it's so hard for me because I can't even, it means all these things that you're saying, sometimes it's so far away from us, even in the name of service, because we use all those things. But then, on the other hand, my hope was that I can at least pray to Krishna that you can help me, please help me to hear your Naam. You know, I can pray like that, maybe Krishna will help me. But what I'm understanding is, I have to put my own effort to bring my consciousness back to the holy name, because that's the only thing that Krishna is expecting, and that's the freedom I have. But I'm totally lost. So how am I going to, it's a kind of a chicken egg thing, because I'm so helpless, but Krishna is saying that that's the only thing I want, but how am I going to get it? So.
Catch 22. Did everyone hear her question? Yeah. So, like Prabhupada said, we need to know the direction and the way. We need some training, right? So, in fact, Prabhupada stresses so much in most of his teaching how in the beginning, and he says this in the preface of Nectar of Instruction, as beginners, our first duty is to learn to control the mind and the senses, and then everything else will be revealed. So this lifestyle that Prabhupada is giving us, waking up early, taking bath, starting our chanting before the day becomes active, it makes it easier to be present for the holy name. But in my experience, we need more direction, we need more guidance, and we need more, specifically more guidance on how to bring our attention present. It's not so difficult once you know the direction and the way, and then how to keep it present, how to deal with the past and the future. We need skillful means to deal with that. Then gradually, it's like shifting apartments. You move from the mind to the reality of the present. And so it really is a matter of choice, and it's true that we have to make that choice. That's our free will. So you can easily ask the question, where's my attention now? And you can bring it with something present, like Tulsi Devi. And then when your mind goes elsewhere, that's to be expected. And you can notice it because you've been blessed with self-awareness. So as soon as you notice it, you're no longer lost. And as you actually focus on that becomes your sadhana, then you start to see. If you know from the beginning, this is the task. Before you do anything else, you got to start here. And you've been trained how to do that. It's not so difficult. Of course, one has to be very motivated to do that. One has to see, this is what I really have to do right now. I'm not going to make much progress unless I do this part first. Then it's not so difficult. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna. I like the 2 points.
Where are you? Okay.
Yeah, I like the 2 points here. Like one is like the greatest blessings we can have is we are existing now.
Can you speak a little louder?
I like the 2 points out of this lecture. The first point is the greatest thing we can have, or blessings we can have is we are existing now. Because we exist now, because of that, our mind can desire something, or we can do something. So whatever our mind or we do activity is because of your existence at this moment, and your existence depends on the God grace. And in that way, like, we can always feel gratitude for the God at this moment, and always be happy because you got whatever you want, because that's the greatest blessings is being alive at this moment, which is because of Krishna. And the second point I liked is there is no like past and future. You told that exists in now. So what I do now become past after some time. What I going to do next depends on what I'm doing now. So the point is like everything exists in now is very, very, I think it's a very impressive point. So if you try to live in now and feeling gratitude for the Krishna, automatically you feel happy and.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So exactly. I mean, experientially, we have to distinguish between reality and illusion, as the Bhagavatam says. So we can only experience our life now. We can only become conscious of our life now. We can't become conscious of the past. We can only remember it. We can't become conscious of the future. We can only imagine it. So we have to become very clear about that, not intellectually, but experientially. That's why we choose to live and to be aware of our life now. Because that's the reality. There's nothing else that's real. That's why we choose it. We want to live in the truth. And then from that truth, we start to discover, yes, I am the awareness. And I always have been and I always will be. And it's great. Feels fine. It's complete. And in that consciousness, we progress. But we have to keep making this choice. That part we have to do. And there's different ways to learn to do that, to become better at that. Man. And in the beginning, there is resistance, especially from the false self. Because when we're present, it's not, and it doesn't like that. It says, where am I? And it makes you start thinking. Right? Okay, yeah, that's our addiction. And we are addicted to thinking, so at first, it's a little hard, right? Just like to get off of a drug. It's not easy. But if you have the right, if you take methadone and go to the right programs, you can kick heroin. Okay, we have to stop now because we have to finish early so that we can take prasadam before the lunar eclipse, right? So thank you very much for your patience. And I hope you can take away something from today's class that you'll find helpful. Hare Krishna. All glories to Prabhupada.